Let's get to Bob Pisani, see what's moving on the floor. Hey, morning, Bob.
Good morning, guys. Happy Wednesday, and sort of an indeterminate day of trading, but a couple story stocks moving things. Just take a look here. We got materials on the upside, consumer staples, healthcare, a little bit of weakness in consumer discretionary. Home Depot down a little bit of disappointment there. Energy's turned positive despite the fact that Chevron was weighing on the markets, some disappointment on their commentary as well, their guidance a little bit earlier in the morning. Important thing about today, Fed meeting, but boy, what a different Fed meeting today than it was last year. Remember last year's Fed meeting at this time? It was December 19th. It was a little later than normal. This is the S&P for December of last year. What a mess that was. But here you go. This is the December 19th Fed meeting. Remember, they raised rates for the fourth time, 2.5% as I recall. And then, of course, we had this whole cascade down to the close on December 24th when we were down, what, another 2% or so on that day, 2.7%, the worst Christmas Eve ever. We had the Fed raising rates. We had concerns about the government shutdown. And then we had the trade issues. Remember December 4th? That's when the president came out and said, I am tariff man. We dropped another 1.5% on that day. So by the time we got all the way down to where we are today, today's December 11th or so, bottom line is we were down 5% for the S&P already. We're flat going into December right now for 2019. The point is, this is a completely different December that we were seeing. Who knows how it's going to end, but very, very different numbers overall. Guys talked a lot about Aramco. I struggle to describe how big it is, but the bottom line is they did get the deal done, and that in itself is certainly important. By the way, this 10%, that's not a typo there. That is happening because that was the limit for Saudi Arabia for trading an individual stock. But they got the deal done, and the bottom line is it was indeed the largest IPO ever. That was obviously one of the goals here, and they pulled that off. There's Saudi Arabia, Alibaba 26, SoftBank 23, Agricultural Bank of China. People don't remember some of these big Chinese IPOs that happened a few years ago. All in the top. Notice no American companies there. We did have GM, you had Visa, and you had Facebook, but they were all $16 to $19 billion range. So American companies kind of further down on the overall list. I struggle to try to describe just how big Aramco is compared to every other company that's out there, and certainly every other energy company. I think the fair comparison is just look at the Aramco deal, $1.88 trillion total market capitalization. Obviously, that includes the government share. But the S&P energy sector, all energy companies in the S&P 500, everything including Exxon, Chevron, $1.1 trillion. Saudi Arabia, Saudi Aramco is 50% bigger than all the energy companies in the United States put together. I think that gives you an idea of the scale of this company. Another important thing is to remember is if you're a global investor, you're going to own Saudi Arabia. We keep saying there's an ETF for that, but the emerging market ETF, the EEM there, one of the biggest in the world, Saudi Arabia is already 2.5% of the market capitalization of that particular ETF and that particular index. This is going to go up, notably as a result of the Aramco deal. Saudi Arabia is also in the all-world index, all the big stock markets in the world. It's 0.3%. That's also going to rise. The point is, it doesn't matter whether you want to own Aramco or don't want to own Aramco. If you own global ETFs, the chances are you are going to own it in the future.